Welcome to At the Public Library, the video source for news and information about the San Francisco Public Library system. Stay tuned for reports on the library's new logo, expanded telephone reference service, highlights of the Gay and Lesbian Center exhibit Tales of the City, and listings of upcoming library programs for children, teens, and adults at the Public Library.
The San Francisco Public Library's services for the deaf and hearing impaired are located on the second floor of the main library in the Civic Center. Staffed with personnel fluent in American Sign Language, the services for the deaf and hearing impaired contain numerous resources for and about the deaf and hearing impaired. Deaf services may be reached via TTD at phone number 557-4433 or voice phone at 557-4434. Hours of operation are Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday from 12 noon to 6 p.m. and Tuesdays from noon to 9 p.m.
And now, here's some news and notes of interest about the San Francisco Public Library system. The San Francisco Public Library greatly expanded its telephone reference service with the recent startup of TIP, the Telephone Information Program.
Information line, may I help you?
This new service is being provided through a generous grant from an anonymous donor. Staff at the San Francisco Public Library are now available to answer telephone calls from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., with Saturday hours to be extended to 9 p.m. in the near future. The service is housed in the main library, where well-trained library technicians staff the phones. A TIP reference librarian is also on duty to act as consultant and backup to the technicians, and to make decisions about callbacks and database searching. The donation also funded the purchase of additional books and reference materials for the program, as well as additional staff and phone lines. Improvements were made to the library's phone system to offer immediate access to the TIP staff. And a call queuing system was installed to handle calls in the order in which they come in. Currently, this telephone reference service is available in English, Spanish, and Cantonese. Eventually, the program will include a translation service so that questions can be answered in over 140 languages. The Telephone Information Project has vastly increased the San Francisco Public Library's ability to answer telephone reference questions and provide more service to more people. The TIP telephone number is 557-4400. Give them a call. They'd love to hear from you. You may have noticed the new logo in the opening of this program. This month, the San Francisco Public Library system will begin phasing in this new logo that features a leaping figure over the words San Francisco Public Library. And below that, separated by a thin line, appear the words Access, Discover, Empower. The leaping figure was selected by the library from 3 distinct design presentations developed by Landor Associates, a worldwide identity consultant and design firm.
Well, the figure is based on a petroglyph, which is an ancient form of writing. The figure is leaping forward and upward, and it's holding something in its hand that could be a book. It could be construed as being a power book. It's a figure that's representative of the rich literary heritage of the library, and also representative of the fact that the library is about people and serving people. The logo was designed by Margaret Youngblood, who's a senior design director at Landor. We'll be gradually phasing this logo into all of our products. To start with, we'll be putting it on our stationery. We'll be integrating it into our forms, all of the forms that we use for the public, as well as internal forms. It'll go on our library card, of course. That'll be one of the most exciting applications for it. It would be nice to think that one day we'd have banners or other things that would promote some of our events here in the library, but mostly it'll be on our paper products. We were were very fortunate that we were more or less adopted by one of the major design firms in San Francisco. Landor Associates had been following the progress of the new main library, and I think that the library had very high appeal for them, and they were willing to donate their services to make this happen. The Friends of the Library have supported the project by paying the production costs, and they'll also pay for printing costs. So far, the feedback we've gotten has been really positive. I had the advantage of seeing a real presentation on this logo and the possibilities for applications, and I was taken with it from the start. I think it's a really exciting design that is visually appealing and yet classic and timeless in its image, and I think it will serve us well over a long period of time.
Last month, the Brazilians came to San Francisco for the World Cup soccer tournament. And while they were here, the San Francisco Public Library received a significant donation of Portuguese books from the Brazilian National Library Foundation. A reception commemorating the generous donation was held in City Hall, where a sampling of the books were put on display. The donation made through the Brazilian Consulate General of San Francisco covers a broad range of subjects, including poetry, fiction, social sciences, arts, nature, and children's books. Along with the book donation, the Brazilian Consulate, in cooperation with the University of California, Berkeley, and the University of Washington, presented a seminar on Brazilian literature at the main library. The donated books are currently being processed by the library's technical staff. After processing, the books will be placed in the library's International Languages collection and the Special Collections Department, where this wonderful gift from Brazil may be enjoyed. And this reminder, the San Francisco Public Library Commission meets on the first Tuesday of every month at 5:30 p.m. in the Lurie Room of the main library. The Finance Committee of the Library Commission meets the third Tuesday of the month at 4 p.m. The Building and Facilities Committee meets the third Wednesday of the month at 3 p.m. And the Planning Committee meets the third Wednesday at 4 p.m. All Library Commission meetings take place in the Lurie Room and are open to the public. For more information, phone 557-4233. Serving the city since 1917, the main library, located at Civic Center, is open on Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On Tuesdays from 12 noon to 9 p.m. and Fridays from 12 to 6 p.m. The San Francisco History Room and Special Collections are open Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m. Thursdays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to noon, closed from noon to 1, and open again from 1 to 6 p.m.
If you're looking for snow in July, look no further. Each Thursday at noon, come to the main library's Lurie Room for a free video showing, beginning this month on July 7th, with the haunting story of the Donner Party and their tragic journey to California. Then, on July 14th, join us for Robert J. Flaherty's classic Nanook of the North, one of the first and finest documentaries ever made. On July 21st, travel with David Attenborough from the peaks of the Andes to Antarctica and the Arctic region in The Frozen World. Finally, on July 28th, we'll be showing the Academy Award-winning film With Byrd at the South Pole, The Story of Little America. That's Snow in July, every Thursday at noon in the main library's Lurie Room.
The Friends of Calligraphy present the 7th membership exhibition, Kalligraphia, now through August 30th, on the 3rd floor of the main library. The exhibit features a rich and lively selection of works that were skillfully displayed by library technician Susie Taylor, curator of the San Francisco Public Library's Hickerson Collection of Calligraphy.
This is Kalligraphia, the Friends of Calligraphy membership exhibit. It occurs every 3 years. Participants are the members of this organization which is a group of calligraphers, both amateur and professional, that are formed into a club. They have workshops, publish a newsletter, and they're fortunate enough to have their show at the library. This is the 7th time this exhibit has been held here in the last, and that would be once every 3 years, so that's in 21 years it's been here 7 times. Most of the members are Bay Area members, but we have members all over the world. We have the piece that comes from farthest away this time is from France, a man named Jean Larcher, who lives and works outside of Paris. We have a woman who sent in a piece of pottery with lettering on it, and she lives in Massachusetts, Hoboken, New Jersey, several from New York, and the majority are from both San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley. Although you will notice a lot of people in Santa Cruz have pieces to represent their work in here. The library in Special Collections holds the Hickerson collection of calligraphy and lettering, which was formed in 1963 and has always been a part of the Special Collections Department. Its strengths are contemporary calligraphy, and as a consequence, many people who are interested in calligraphy come and visit the collection to see these original works by different people. The exhibition will be here. Today is June 1st. It will be here through August 31st. One of the special features of this exhibition is each Saturday there will be a demonstration by a calligrapher. They are going to be held in both special collections. We have 5 Saturdays in June, 3 in June and 4 in August in special collections. The others will be in the Lorry Room throughout July. And the demonstrations are on different topics, different aspects of calligraphy. The first one is about calligraphy basics with Georgiana Greenwood, who is very well known in this area, and she was one of the founding members of Friends of Calligraphy.
Kalligraphia will be on display on the 3rd floor of the main library through the end of August. And the Friends of Calligraphy's talks and demonstrations about calligraphy will take place on Saturdays at 2 p.m. throughout the summer at the main library. The calligraphy programs continue on July 9th with Painting on Silk, a Calligrapher's Odyssey, with Lily Stevenson. Then on July 16th, Gothic and Batard Alphabets, Cutting a Reed, presented by Ward Dunham. On July 23rd, Italic Lettering, with Anne Yamasaki. July 30th, Bookmaking, Slip Up Concertina, Carol Pallison Hicks. And on August 6th, Copperplate Calligraphy, with Claude Dietrich A. All these programs take place in the Lurie Room. That's the Summer Calligraphy Series.
And the main library's summer events include the provocative Tuesday evening, Saturday afternoon author series. On July 12th from 7 to 8:30 p.m., Suzanne Lipset reads from Surviving a Writer's Life and a fiction work in progress. Then on Saturday, August 27th, from 3 to 4:30 p.m., Cynthia Heimel and her son Brody read from Get Your Tongue Out of My Mouth, I'm Kissing You Goodbye, and unpublished works. Special guest that afternoon will be The Dog. Then on Saturday, September 10th from 3 to 4:30 p.m., Dorothy Allison, author of Bastard Out of Carolina, reads from Skin, her new book of essays. And on Tuesday, September 13th from 7 to 8:30 p.m., Harriet Dorr, author of Stones for Ibarra and Consider This, Senora, discusses her work after the Word for Word Performing Arts Company presents a story from Stones for Ibarra. Also coming this fall, Tilly Olson, Allison Owings, and Rita Kuhn. All the author series are held in the Lurie Room of the main library at the Civic Center. Sign language interpreters provided upon request. That's the author series Tuesday evenings and Saturday afternoons.
The main library offers a free orientation to the San Francisco Public Library System and the new online public access catalog every first Saturday of the month. The sessions run for an hour and provide a basic introduction to the library and its collections. Library orientations on the first Saturday of the month begin at 2 p.m. and take place in the Lurie Room of the main library. Times and schedules may change. Call 557-4400 for more information.
Located in the heart of the Bayview District at 5075 3rd Street, the Bayview Anna E. Wadden branch is open Monday, Thursday, and Friday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m., Tuesdays 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Wednesdays open at 1 p.m. till 9 in the evening. City Guides are volunteers who enjoy the city and its stories. Let them share their knowledge and enthusiasm with you on these free walking tours of various San Francisco locations. Most walks take about 1.5 hours, and only group reservations are needed.
Welcome to Citywatch, San Francisco's new government access television channel. Hi, I'm Supervisor Sue Bierman. Citywatch was created to give you greater access to the services of city departments, agencies, boards, commissions, and the like. With this channel, the city can use television to encourage participation in government services and decision-making. In the coming months, look for gavel-to-gavel coverage of public meetings and other programming of interest to all San Franciscans. Thank you for watching.
We Americans go through 2.5 million plastic bottles every hour, every day of the year.
Americans throw away enough aluminum every 3 months to rebuild all our commercial airplanes.
Did you know that 2 weeks of your daily newspaper equals 1 mature tree?
Some communities now pay more for waste disposal than for police services. Is that where you want your tax dollars to go?
Buy stuff that's recycled. Recycle the stuff you buy. Take it back.
Want to learn how to read? Want to help someone else learn to read? Contact Project Read of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4388. Project Read is an adult literacy program that provides volunteer one-to-one tutoring for adult learners. Project Read's support of tutors and students includes tutor orientation and training, continuing education workshops for tutors and students, reading diagnostics for students, family programs, and referrals to classroom instruction at community college centers and to other agencies in the community. There are many ways you can help adults achieve their personal reading goals. Call Project Read to find out how. Learn to read or be a reading tutor. Phone 557-4388. The beautiful Richmond Branch Library, located at 351 9th Avenue, is open Tuesdays and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday with evening hours from 1 to 9 p.m., and Thursdays and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m. The Richmond Branch Children's Room is open Thursdays and Fridays from 2 to 6 p.m., and Tuesdays and Saturdays 10 to 6 p.m., with Wednesday evening hours 2 to 8 p.m. Located atop Potrero Hill at 1616 20th Street, the Potrero Branch Library is open Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 1 to 6 p.m., and Wednesdays from 1 to 8 p.m. Located across the street from Stonestown, the Merced Branch Library at 155 Winston Drive is open Mondays and Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesdays with evening hours from 1 to 9 p.m., and Thursdays and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m.
Hey kids, hop on board the Magic Reading Bus this summer at the San Francisco Public Library. Reading is a magic trip. The summer reading program for all children up to age 13 will be offered at all San Francisco branch libraries and the main library in Civic Center, June 18th through August 13th. This year, the library has again teamed up with the San Francisco Giants to motivate and encourage children to read during the summer months. Tickets to a Giants game at Candlestick Park are among the incentives being offered to children who complete the program by reading 8 books. Other prizes include passes to the Bay Area Discovery Museum and the Morrison Planetarium, paperback books, special bookmarks, stickers, pencils, and a magic bus eraser. In selected libraries, a special youth volunteer program encourages middle school children to assist younger kids in participating in the summer reading program. Kid Power gives youth the opportunity to work in libraries, learn new skills, and gain valuable work experience. Kid Power volunteers will receive T-shirts supplied by The Gap in recognition of their participation in the program. For more information about the summer reading program and Kid Power, call the Main Library Children's Department at 557-4554 or your neighborhood branch library. Every Friday from 3 to 6 p.m., the Main Library Children's Department hosts the Chess Club for children of all ages. International, Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, and Korean chess are offered, as well as Go and Scrabble. That's the Chess Club in the Main Children's Department at the Main Library, every Friday at 3 p.m.
Check out the library's programs for infants and toddlers. In the children's room of the main library, come for a lap sit at 10:30 a.m. on Saturdays. The Anza branch, Wednesdays at 7:15 p.m. Chinatown branch, call for dates, Saturdays at 10 a.m. Merced branch, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. In the Mission, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Noe Valley Sally Brunn branch, Wednesday evenings at 7. In North Beach, Tuesdays at 10:15 a.m., except for the third Tuesday of the month. In the Parkside, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Potrero branch, Thursdays at 1:30 p.m. Richmond branch, Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. Call for dates. The Sunset branch asks for you to call for the schedule for lap sit. West Portal, 10:30 a.m. on Saturdays. And Western Addition, 10:30 a.m. on Saturdays. That's the Lap Sit program, stories, songs, and rhymes for infants and toddlers. And the summer fun continues with a great summer crafts series from around the world at the Richmond Branch Library. Learn how to make origami figures at the July 7th program. Come by at 3 p.m. for a lesson in the Japanese art of paper folding, origami cranes. Then, on July 14th, you'll travel back in time for an afternoon of Egyptian mummies and hieroglyphs. On July 21st, the travels continue with a trip south of the border to learn how to make ojos de Dios, God's eyes. Finally, on July 28th, we'll complete the world beat with percussion instrument making. So come by the Richmond Branch Library Thursdays at 3 p.m. for a summer craft program at 351 9th Avenue. And kids can have some viewing fun this month at the Sunset Branch Library. On July 19th, the preschool film The Red Balloon will be having 3 showings, 10:30 a.m., 11:15 a.m., and 1:30 p.m. That's The Red Balloon, July 19th. And for kids 6 years old and over, an evening of videos on July 20th at 7 p.m. That's July Kids programs at the Sunset Branch Library at 1305 18th Avenue. And the Ingleside branch has plenty of fun in store for kids this July, too. On July 5th, a preschool story time at 10:30 a.m. On July 12th, a craft program for kids ages 6 and over at 1:30 in the afternoon. Then on July 19th, a video program for kids 6 and over at 1:30 in the afternoon. And on July 26th, more crafts for kids 6 and over at 1:30 in the afternoon. That's the Ingleside Branch Library at 387 Ashton Avenue. And the Portola Branch July Kids programs begin on July 6th with preschool videos at 10:30 a.m. Also on July 6th, videos for kids 6 years old and over at 2 in the afternoon. Then on July 13th, a craft program for 6-year-olds and over at 2 in the afternoon. And on July 20th, preschool story time at 10:30 a.m. That's the Portola Branch July Kids programs at 2434 San Bruno Avenue, the Portola Branch Library. The North Beach Branch July Kids programs will be featuring film showings. On July 19th, preschool films at 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m., and 3 p.m. Then on July 20th, films for 6-year-olds and over at 3:45 p.m. at the North Beach Branch Library on 2000 Mason Street.
Dial a Story is a telephone service offering poems, rhymes, riddles, songs, and stories for children. Presented by the Office of Children's Services of the San Francisco Public Library, Dial a Story is offered in 3 languages: English, Spanish, and Cantonese. For English stories, dial 626-6516. For Spanish stories, dial 552-0535. And for Cantonese stories, dial 552-0534. Now here's a sampling of some Dial a Story fun.
Hello, thank you for calling Dial a Story, presented by Children's Services, San Francisco Public Library. Our story today comes from New Mexico, and it's a folktale called The Goat in the Chili Patch. Once, a man and a woman lived on a farm, and in their garden they grew all sorts of vegetables. But their favorite vegetable of all were the green chili peppers. Now one day, their big billy goat broke through the fence, got into their garden, and started eating all the ripe chilies. The man and the woman ran outside as fast as they could, and they tried to chase the billy goat out of the garden. They shouted, and they pushed, and they pulled, but they just could not make him leave. So they asked the rooster to help them. The rooster flew at the goat, squawking and pecking. "Get out of the chili patch," the rooster screeched. "No, you get out," said the big billy goat, and he kicked the rooster up into the air. And the billy goat went right on eating the chilies. So the man and woman asked their dog to help them. The dog ran toward the goat, barking and growling. "Get out of the chili patch," yelped the dog. "No, you get out," said the billy goat, and he kicked the dog up in the air. And the billy goat went right on eating the chilies. So the man and the woman asked their bull to help them. The bull snorted, pawed at the ground, and gave the goat his meanest look. "Get out of the chili patch," bellowed the bull. "No, you get out," said the billy goat, and he kicked the bull up in the air. And the billy goat went right on eating the chilies. Then along came a little red ant. "I think I can make that billy goat get out of your chili patch," said the ant to the man and woman. "Huh, how can a little ant do something that the rooster and the dog and even the bull couldn't do?" asked the man and woman. "Just watch me," said the ant. The ant walked over to the billy goat. The goat didn't even see the ant coming. The ant walked up the billy goat's back leg. The goat didn't even feel the ant walking. The ant walked along the billy goat's back. The goat still didn't feel the ant. The ant walked across the soft skin behind the billy goat's ear and bit the billy goat. The billy goat jumped up into the air and ran out of the garden as fast as he could. And you know, that billy goat never ever went near that chili patch again. The next time you see a tiny little ant crawling along the ground, just remember what happened to that big billy goat. Thanks for calling Dial-A-Story. Bye.
Hi, I'm Bryan Hickerson. You're watching at the Public Library on Citywatch, Cable 54.
Bring your children aged 3 to 5 to the library for story time. The main children's room has story time Saturdays at 10:30 a.m. The Anza branch, Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. At the Bayview Wadden branch, Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. The Bernal branch has story time Tuesdays, 10:45 a.m. and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. In Chinatown, please call the Children's Librarian, 274-0275, for hours. Eureka Valley, Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. The Excelsior branch has story time Tuesdays at 11 a.m. The Marina branch story time Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. The Merced branch has story time Thursday afternoons at 2 p.m. The Mission branch Saturdays at 12 noon, story time in Spanish. North Beach branch Tuesday mornings at 10:45 a.m., except for the third Tuesday. The Ortega branch Tuesday mornings, 10:30 a.m. And the Park branch Tuesday mornings at 11 a.m. Parkside branch Tuesday mornings, 11 a.m. On Potrero Hill, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. In the Richmond, Tuesdays at 11 a.m. and Wednesday evenings, 7 p.m. The newly reopened Sunset branch has story time Tuesday mornings at 10:30 a.m. West Portal branch, Tuesday mornings at 10:30 and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. And Western Addition, Tuesdays at 10 a.m. and Saturdays 11:30 a.m. And don't forget the main library's children's programming for July, beginning on July 6th with a puppet making workshop at 3 p.m. And if you miss it the first time, there will be another one on July 13th, also at 3 p.m. On July 20th, come decorate a magic bus and create a magical mobile at a crafts program for kids ages 6 and older. Preschoolers can drop by for a rip-roaring Tales film show, including A Boy, a Dog, and a Frog, Red Riding Hood, and the remarkable riderless Runaway Tricycle, all on Wednesday, July 20th at 10 and 10:45 a.m. This whole show will be repeated on Thursday, the 21st, also at 10 and 10:45 a.m., with an extra show at 2 in the afternoon. And later on the 20th will be a video showing of Hardware Wars for kids 6 and older at 3 p.m. All these activities take place at the main library in the children's department. Call 557-4554 for more information.
Your history shouldn't be a mystery. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Pancho Villa and Zapata.
Martin Luther King and Malcolm X.
King of some more.
Lydia Kahlo.
The library is the place to be, and a hero is more than a sandwich, G. Knowledge, power, use it.
Bruce Lee.
Maybe Magic. Wesley Snipes, Spike Lee, Minister Farrakhan.
The library. Knowledge, power, use it.
Looking for a great deal on books? Then drop by the Book Bay Bookstore in Fort Mason. Operated by the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library, the Book Bay Bookstore offers great prices on used books, records, and tapes. There's something for everybody at the Book Bay, and all proceeds of the Book Bay benefit the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library. The Book Bay Bookstore is located in the Fort Mason Complex, Building C, on the first floor. The store is open Wednesdays and Fridays from 11 to 5, Thursdays 11 to 8, and Saturdays and Sundays again from 11 to 5. The Book Bay also welcomes donations of books. If you have books you'd like to donate, call the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4257 for more information. So, now you know, that's Bargain Books at the Book Bay Bookstore, Fort Mason, Building C.
On Wednesday, July 6th, the North Beach Branch Library will be presenting The Dream World and the Root of Reality, an evening of American Indian rituals. Gaia Jenkins and Fanny Renoir will share their poetry beginning at 7 p.m. at the North Beach Library on 2000 Mason Street at the corner of Columbus. For more information, call 274-0270. Stay tuned now for highlights of the main library's summer exhibit, showing now through August 31st in the second floor rotunda.
I'm Jim Van Buskirk, Director of the Gay and Lesbian Center at San Francisco Public Library, and I'd like to spend a few minutes telling you about this exhibit, Tales of the City, Lesbians and Gay Men Since Stonewall. This exhibit was conceived several months ago in conjunction with the University of California at Berkeley Bancroft Library. Speaking to a colleague there, he was talking about an exhibit he was planning, and I said, well, we're planning an exhibit too, and we decided to work together. Their exhibit, O Pioneers, 100 Years Before Stonewall, chronicles the 100 years prior to 1969, and we thought to supplement that, we would focus on the years since 1969 and focus specifically on the San Francisco Bay Area, since this area has been so rich in the development of the gay and lesbian civil rights movement. Our original conception was to do a timeline starting in 1969 and working through 1994, chronicling the significant events that had taken place in San Francisco. And we worked with that idea for a little while, and then we realized, given the configuration of the cases and people coming from a variety of different directions, that we didn't want to have a beginning and an end to the exhibit. So we wanted to do it more thematically. And what we did is took the same materials and the same information and shuffled it a little bit. So now we have in the 13 cases a case devoted to community, to religion, to sports, to the parades, to politics, media, and we thought that it was fitting that we devote one case to Randy Schultz, who we lost this year. We chose the title Tales of the City because we thought that Armistead Maupin's serial novel that took place here, was written here, was a fitting symbol of what has happened in the San Francisco Bay Area. And in fact, we were pleasantly surprised to see how many things have originated here. For example, the quilt panels behind me from the Names Project were originated here. It was founded by Cleve Jones. And we thought that that would be a fitting tribute to the project and also to the many people who have died of AIDS. Similarly, the rainbow flag was developed by Gilbert Baker for a parade, and originally was 8 panels, then was reduced to 6, and has become not only the symbol for the gay and lesbian Pride Parade in San Francisco, but also an international symbol of gay and lesbian civil rights. So this exhibit, which runs from June 14th through August 31st, is an attempt to explore the various aspects of gay and lesbian life in the San Francisco Bay Area. It takes up this whole rotunda, entire second floor, and let's take a look at it. The Stonewall riot, which took place at the end of June in 1969 in New York, is seen as the benchmark in the struggle for gay and lesbian civil rights, although much happened prior to that. But we'll start there, and in an event which took place in San Francisco shortly thereafter was on October 25th, 1969. The San Francisco Examiner ran this article in which it referred to gay men as limp-wristed fairies. Lesbians were referred to as women who weren't really women, and transvestites as drag darlings. There was a demonstration at the Examiner buildings during which a bag of printer's ink was thrown from the second floor onto the demonstrators. The demonstrators took the ink and slapped their handprints onto the Hearst building and wrote slogans such as "Gay is good." This precipitated police arrests, and the day became known as the Friday of the Purple Hand. This was one of the very early instances post-Stonewall of gays standing up for their rights, and is part of our media case in which we show how representation of gays in the media, both mainstream and community, has changed over the years. So we thought the image of the purple hand was a powerful one, and we adopted that as our symbol for the exhibit. We wanted a fresh image to supplement pink triangles and rainbow flags, and that's what we used in the design of the poster. This case deals with sports and athletics, and the highlight here is the Gay Olympics, which was started in San Francisco in 1982, and I think it demonstrates the depths of homophobia in the world of sports that the Olympic Committee decided to sue over the use of the word Olympics. So we see some materials that say Gay Olympics, and then we see others that say Gay Games, and that, I think, says it all. In this case, it's a look at the politics of San Francisco and how they've developed over the last 25 years. In 1969, gays had little or no political clout, but shortly thereafter, in 1971, Dianne Feinstein addressed a meeting of the Society for Individual Rights, and that was the first time that a city official had addressed a gay group. And from then on, slowly, the gay community started recognizing their political clout and exercising it, until in the 90s we had Roberta Achtenberg, we had the Lavender Sweep, where 3 or 4 openly gay and lesbian politicians were elected to seats. So we've really made a lot of strides in the last 25 years. Of course, one of the most important political figures was Harvey Milk, when he was elected after his 3rd try to the Board of Supervisors. And unfortunately, as we all know, his term was cut short. We have some of the headlines: Mayor and Milk slain, Dan White seized. And then after the verdict of the Dan White trial, the Night of Fury, which became known as White Night, when the verdict against Dan White seemed so slight. And that's why we have the broken glass and the Twinkies. In this case, we look at schools, libraries, and other educational institutions and how they have worked hard to make information about lesbians and gays available, first of all, to ourselves, and then secondly, to more mainstream. So San Francisco State, University of California at Berkeley have offered courses, symposia, also Lavender U, some gay student coalitions, also the Gay and Lesbian Historical Society of Northern California, which was formed in 1985. The San Francisco Public Library has over the years developed gay and lesbian programming, exhibits, and this case takes a look at these things. In this case, we tried to survey the arts in the Bay Area, Olivia Records, Sylvester, performing arts, Theater Rhino, Valencia Rose, Josie's, the visual arts, all kinds of representations of gays and lesbians, and performances by gays and lesbians, the gay men's chorus, the marching bands. We tried to do a survey of what's been happening in the Bay Area, which is pretty amazing and has led the country in many respects. The San Francisco Bay Area has been an important literary scene for a long time. Alice B. Toklas was born here. Gertrude Stein hails from Oakland. And since 1969, the publishing of gay and lesbian materials has exploded, from people like Pat Parker, Judy Grahn, Tom Gunn. We've seen today queer zines. One of the things we wanted to include in this case is the first installment of Armistead Maupin's serial Tales of the City, which appeared on May 25th, 1976, and went on to become a bestseller when it was published in book form. We have magazines dealing with gay literature and a whole panoply of chapbooks, poetry, novels, a wide variety of materials that demonstrate the importance of gay and lesbian contribution to literature. In this case, we've tried to document the 24 years of gay pride parades in San Francisco. Beginning in 1970, on Saturday, June 27th, there was a march from Aquatic Park to Civic Center. And then on the next Sunday, the 28th, there was a gay-in in Golden Gate Park. The next year, 1971, there was a march on Sacramento, and it wasn't until 1972 that we had the first official San Francisco gay pride parade. And over the years, it's changed its name to include Lesbian, Pride and Celebration. And this is some documentation with photos and t-shirts, buttons, programs of those parades. This case is devoted to Randy Schultz, who was one of the pioneering journalists in the field. And the San Francisco Public Library and the Gay and Lesbian Center is proud to be the repository for Randy's materials. We have all his archives and personal papers. From these materials, which have been supplemented by photographs and other ephemera from Linda Alban, we've tried to show the highlights of Randy's career, including his stint at the San Francisco Chronicle, magazine articles, and of course, his important books. Bars, baths, and clubs were the principal places for socializing for gay men and lesbians, and the proliferation of these clubs is evident in this case. We have a map from 1969 showing the bar scene all across the city, predominantly in the Polk Street area, and hardly any in the Castro area. We also have matchbooks from some of these clubs and bar cards. Unfortunately, now, for a variety of reasons, there are no lesbian bars in San Francisco, and so we wanted to have Last Call at Maud's represented, Maud's being an important lesbian hangout for many years. This case highlights the diversity of our communities, from gay and lesbian youth to gay and lesbian outreach to elders, Lavender Godzilla, Ashe, a journal for lesbians of African descent, also Gay American Indians was founded in San Francisco. So this is a case to show the wide diversity of who we are and what we've achieved in the Bay Area. This case focuses on the health concerns that have faced the lesbian and gay communities, specifically AIDS. San Francisco has been a pioneer in developing information and resource services for the AIDS crisis, particularly the San Francisco AIDS Foundation, Project Inform, and a variety of other organizations. One response to the crisis is the Names Project quilt, which was developed in June of 1987 by Cleve Jones and has gone on, unfortunately, to become a major project. We've chosen to display 4 panels from the quilt profiling San Francisco residents. Robert Chesley, an important playwright, Michael Martin, who was a staff member at the San Francisco Public Library, Chuck Solomon, a performance artist, and the recording star Sylvester. The exhibit also includes materials relating to religion and spirituality, which increasingly is important to the gay and lesbian communities, from gay and lesbian atheists to Metropolitan Community Church. All organized religions seem to have a component devoted to gays and lesbians. Shahar Zahav, the Jewish Temple, Zen, and some organizations like the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, who parody the bigotry of organized religion. Expanding the definition of family beyond biological or legal constructs, gays and lesbians began creating their own families by having and/or adopting children, registering as domestic partners, and continuing to fight the bigotry of those who would use the term family values as a weapon against them. I hope this brief tour highlighting the exhibit has piqued your curiosity. The materials from the exhibit come principally from the collections of the Gay and Lesbian Center, which will open in the new main library in 1996, supplemented by materials generously loaned by the Gay and Lesbian Historical Society of Northern California and other departments in San Francisco Public Library, as well as generous individuals. So we hope you'll come down and view Tales of the City, Lesbians and Gay Men since Stonewall in the second floor rotunda of the San Francisco Public Library, now through August 31st.
On Thursday, July 28th, the Bernal Branch Library will be hosting a book discussion group to discuss Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez, the renowned author of 100 Years of Solitude. That's July 28th at 4 p.m. at the Bernal Branch Library, located at 500 Cortlandt Avenue in Bernal Heights.
And members of the public are invited to help establish a book discussion group at the Sunset Branch Library. Participants will decide on the type of books to read, discuss available resources, and choose the books which will be read for the August and September meetings. Future discussions will be held on the third Wednesday of each month, beginning at 7 p.m. The Sunset Branch Library is located at 1305 18th Avenue.
Welcome to Citywatch, San Francisco's government access television channel. Hello, I'm Supervisor Susan Leal. Cable television is a powerful tool to educate and enlighten San Franciscans about many issues, including the services and decision-making processes of local government. Citywatch is a free channel provided to the city and its citizens for this purpose. In coming months, watch for gavel-to-gavel coverage of public meetings and interactive text information about city departments and civic events. Thank you for watching Citywatch.
We'd like to hear what you think of At the Public Library. Send your comments to San Francisco Public Library, Media Production Services, Civic Center, San Francisco, California, 94102. Located in the heart of the Mission at 3359 24th Street, the Mission Branch Library is open on Tuesdays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesday afternoons and evenings from 1 to 9 p.m., and Thursdays and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m. The Children's Room at the Mission Branch Library is open on Monday, Thursday, and Friday afternoons from 2 to 6 p.m., Tuesdays and Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Wednesday afternoons and evenings from 2 to 8 p.m. Located in the Outer Mission, the Excelsior Branch Library at 4400 Mission Street is open Tuesdays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Wednesdays with evening hours from 1 to 9 p.m., and Thursdays and Fridays from 1 to 6 p.m. An example of one of San Francisco's many beautiful Carnegie-era branch libraries, the Bernal Branch is located on 500 Cortlandt Avenue. It is open on Tuesdays from 10 to 12 noon, closed for lunch, and then open again from 1 to 6. On Wednesdays from 1 till 9 in the evening, and Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 1 to 6 p.m.
The Friends of the Public Library conduct a great tour of the main library on the third Wednesday of each month. Meet us in the morning at 10:30 at the welcome desk in the lobby for a delightful free tour. No reservations necessary.
You too can be a friend of the San Francisco Public Library. Join us. For more information, phone the Friends of the San Francisco Public Library at 557-4257.
You've been watching At the Public Library, here on cable channel 54, Citywatch. At the Public Library features news and information about the San Francisco Public Library system. And for a printed copy of some of the information in this program, pick up a copy of At the Public Library at your branch or at the main library. Tune in next time for more at the Public Library, and thanks for watching.